Chrono Cross, another one of Square's classics. This was one of my favourite titles growing up and it is still as addictive as ever. Do you think you know everything about this beastly RPG? Think again. This video is going to look at the most awesome facts behind the game. You're watching Hellfire RPGs and this is Chrono Cross Know the Facts. Surge and Lynx spend quite a lot of time in each other's bodies. When this happens, Dark Surge gets a nice little portrait of his own to reflect his evil personality. It's only fair that Lynx gets another portrait too, right? Well, he did. This second portrait was planned for implementation when Surge enters Lynx's body, but for some reason it didn't make it into the final game. One thing I really liked about Chrono Cross is that every character speaks during events when they're optional additions to the party. At first, I was amazed at the amount that they must have individually coded for every character. This is particularly evident with characters who speak differently, such as Harle and Zoa. However, it turns out that the developers created an auto accent program to generate the different speech patterns. This allows them to write a standard line in plain English text and have it randomly generated into an accent. Or in Zoa's case, just capitalized. Black Hole is a level 6 black elemental spell. However, what's unique about it is that it creates a special effect in the background. When used on the Chronopolis Islands, different images appear in the sky for a split second depending on the island. This image looks like a young woman and a child. Some have speculated that this could be Scala and Janus, but there is no way to know for sure. Whatever the case, it's a pretty awesome Easter egg. On the topic of Janus or Magus, he was originally going to make a direct appearance in Chrono Cross. However, he was scrapped because Square thought his overly complex backstory would be too difficult to portray given the amount of characters in the game. Magus was eventually replaced by the magician Guile. But it doesn't end there. There's a certain shadow that mysteriously appears when Kid reads the letter from Luca. It's very possible that this could be Magus himself. This isn't so far-fetched, as Magus has the ability to slip in and out of the shadows in the Chrono spin-off Radical Dreamers. Early in development, Chrono Cross was given the working title of Project Kid. Producer Hiromichi Tanaka tends to give working titles to the games that he produces, such as Xenogears being titled Project Noah and Final Fantasy XI being titled Exodus. However, what's interesting about Project Kid is that it turned out to be a major plot point from the game. Yeah, there are loads of characters in Chrono Cross, many whose names have some interesting origins. In the Japanese version, Harle's name is Tsukuyomi, who was the god of the moon in Shinto and Japanese mythology. This makes sense as Harle's true identity is the Dark Moon Dragon. On the topic of Harle, her and Pierre speak an interlanguage called Franglais, which is a mangled blend of English and French. Irenes is also an anagram for the word Sirene, which means mermaid in French. We know that the character Grobyc is a cyborg, but did you notice that the word Grobyc is just cyborg in reverse? The rockstar Nikki's name has references in both the Japanese and US releases. The name Nikki is a reference to the rockstar Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue. Both are rockstars who wear flamboyant clothing.
Mr. Nikki, badass motherfucking Sixx.
In Japan, Nikki's name is Surashu, which is translated to Slash. This name is likely a reference to Slash from Guns N' Roses. Speaking of rockstars, Magus's three henchmen, Ozzy, Flea and Slash, references Ozzy Osbourne, Flea from the Chili Peppers, and once again, Slash. These characters can be fought post-game in the US version of Chrono Cross. Radical Dreamers is a text-based guidance title in the Chrono series. Released in 1996, only in Japan, this visual novel tells a tale of Surge, Kid, and a mysterious magician. Radical Dreamers was intended to complement Chrono Trigger's complex plot. However, it was extremely rushed due to the 3-month production schedule. Developer Kato was very disappointed with the final product and stated that it was unfinished, yet he still wanted to continue the story. This, of course, was the inspiration for Chrono Cross. But it seems that Chrono Cross wasn't supposed to be the end of the series. In December of 2001, Square registered the trademark Chrono Break. There had been numerous statements from developers suggesting interest in continuing the series, but unfortunately, nothing ever eventuated from this. Sorry guys, but we're not going to have a 200-year production schedule like Final Fantasy XV because the Chrono Break trademark expired in 2012. This was Hellfire RPGs. If you enjoyed this episode, check out some of my other Know the Facts or RPG videos. Thanks for watching.